What? What happened?
Chess.
Well,
you know, just
Recording in progress.
Bunch. But yeah, so we just how else to explain how it sucks that filing charges gets people sometimes you need help.
Yes. It's so great, you know.
Alright, those AI using.
I haven't learned from
Somebody say yes, birthdays, AI and
Oh, says work, I don't play. Yeah.
That's what's gonna require it, so.
there must be some good stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't had it, so.
They, I think.
Mysterious AI and when out people's time and even.
Nobody can just read the highlights, the insights, right? Yeah, like, you get your data burger. Right, so back at Twitter action, I'm gonna be, yeah, straight. But yeah, it was good.
AI and takes.
Yeah, I'm probably.
But we're providing value though.
Yeah, also the checking.
Doing events.
And it's an exclusive for me, there's a lot of our people that are like, oh, we really.
Really?
It's like, it's just says, well, oh, I know.
I can't count.
I don't want anything about you to yourself, but they tend to.
So. Let's provide.
Telling you that.
It's definitely this kind of conundrums I have for shoot.
Issues. But it's.
Oh, okay.
So.
Right.
Let's see. And after this meeting, so like before we go over to Alta, do we go to the city house that again, when we're going to be from here are going from there?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I was let's start.
Get started.
All right, thanks everybody for coming. We're gonna do introductions, so we'll just go around and say our name, why we're here. And so I'm Austin Taylor, I'm the chair of the Central City Neighborhood Council, and I live at about 7 South 4th East. Happy to be here.
My name is Jenny Starley and I'm the vice chair for the neighborhood council and I live on approximately 2nd East and 8th South.
I'm Travis Starley, Jen's husband. I'm part of the land use committee and live with Jen.
And our dogs.
My name's Seth, I'm on the board and I live about a block north of here.
I'm Rebecca Allen on the city's phone list.
I'm Ben Engel, the treasurer on the board. I live on 100 South between 2nd and 30s.
I'm Matt Robbins, I do social media for the board, and I live a block east from here.
Kevin, I just live in the neighborhood. Something I
Where at in the neighborhood?
We're South 50 East, give or take.
Nice, right by Smith's.
Yeah. Yeah. My name is Nick Johnson and I work in council office with Councilmember Napier Pierce. I'm her constituent liaison, it's my official role. So I'm glad to be here tonight. If you have any more things.
I'm Aaron Marlowe, I'm with the planning division in Salt Lake City, I live in Rosemary.
You're Chrissy Gilmore and
I'm Kara, I live on 7th South and 3rd East, and I'm on the land use plan. I'm Karen Major, and I live at the Metro 350 South 200 East.
Thank you, Brandon.
I'm Brandy Burnham, I'm the public safety chair, and I live on 7th South 50 East.
Cool, thank you. So since last meeting, we got a new solid, District 4 council member, Jennifer Napier Pierce. She's not here today, sent Nick, but we met with her at last week's neighborhood council board meeting in my home, and she's great. She's excited to get to know us better and get to know the neighborhood better. And she's gonna be a great advocate for the neighborhood. And we made sure to let her know that she's welcome here every month, either online or in person. Ava was very good about showing up and telling us what she's working on, what's going on. So we hope that Jennifer can do the same thing. So we're excited to work with her. So today's agenda includes some committee updates, city updates. We don't have Tim in the mayor's office today, so we'll just be telling his updates. And then we've got a few presentations. The first one is from an app developer that's builds an app that's neighborhood focused and just wants to pitch it to you and see what you think about it. And then we've got the people from the planning department here to talk about the central community plan. And that's something that hasn't been updated in 20 years. And it really influences zoning and it influences street reconstruction and how the public and private space in our neighborhood is shaped moving forward. And then we've got a presentation from some artists who are doing this project, Beats Around the Block. It's a public arts project focusing on neighborhood identity and bead sculptures. So that'll be fun. And then at the end of the meeting, we'll end earlier than normal so that we can walk over to the Sampson and Alta Dena Condo building, which was just listed on the National Register of Historic Places. And it is, I think it's a local landmark now or something, one of those things. We're gonna get a private tour of the condo building, which has been renovated. If you guys know Annie, who's on the board, it's her building that she lives in, she's HOA president. So she's excited to show it to us. So you guys want to introduce yourselves really quick, name and why you're here?
So my name is Nick Summers, this is Grant Ivins. We're here to present about Block Watch, Border Founders, so.
Well, thank you guys. So let's turn it over to committee updates and we turn it to Travis for the line.
This time, I don't know if I'm prepared. They're pretty quiet. So.
Yeah.
Cool, I think the big thing is the
Community plan.
Yeah, the community plan update, yes.
I want to plug really quick though, the tracker that Kara put together. It's pretty cool. Do you want to share a little bit more about it?
Sure, I went into Google Maps and I created like my own map, and I basically for the things that we've seen over the last few months, so it's definitely not historical. I put little triangle or shapes around the buildings and a comment to say this is currently, under discussion, or the comment period has passed or something like that, and the goal being to be able to take what the planning department is doing and make it a little bit more visible for us specific to our neighborhood.
Cool.
Really
So
cool. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'll include it in the next newsletter and we'll put a link on it going forward. And I think we'll find a way to embed it into the website too. I think that'd be helpful. So we're doing a website refresh soon. It's not my control. All right, other committees. Brandon, do you have any public safety committee updates you want to share?
Sure, there's a lot, but Talford Park kind of had a little uptick, or is having a little uptick in activity I've been trying to address. So if you see anything, and I mean anything illegal, not just people standing around, if you see paraphernalia, someone using drugs, if you see someone littering, if you see someone assaulting someone, anything, please report it. The more people we have reported, the more attention we can get to it.
Also, I did go to Richmond Park for a couple of weeks, which was a big mistake, so I was focusing on Tafford. And when I went back, there was some large messes and encampments that were happening, and people sleeping there at night. No one can sleep in a park at night, you know, regardless of who they are. It's closed 11 to 5. They need to, you know, give the police or social workers to find housing or some sort of living thing, or if they choose, you know, a living situation that they can't sleep in the park, that's not the alternate option. So please report these things when you see them. More clean and safe for everyone, you know, all times. That's about it.
Thanks, Brandy. Yeah, I have also seen overnight camping in Richmond Park, which I haven't seen in months. So
Yeah.
yeah, we gotta keep reporting that.
Yeah, I haven't put on for a while.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. And then Matt, do you have any social media updates?
Just a quick one, maybe for the city folks that are here, if already a council member, or if you want anything posted about the plan update that you're doing, you can email us at centralcitycouncil@gmail.com. And we'll put it on our LinkedIn and our Facebook and Instagram to get out to the. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Okay, I don't think I'm missing anybody. Okay, cool. Let's move on to city updates. So Rebecca's here from our team. Any updates?
Not much public facing. Our next Resource Fair is July 17th, so. Yeah, it'll be great.
Cool. And then Tim from the mayor's office emailed us and he has 2 updates for us. Do you want to pull those up, Jen?
Yeah. So the first is the just an event, the America 250 drone show is on Friday. They're hosting an annual Independence Day drone show, expanded this year to 500 drones in celebration of America's 250th anniversary. So it's at Friday at Jordan Park, and activities begin at 8 p.m. Drone show starts at 10 p.m. Free admission to all ages. There's going to be live music, food trucks, and the first 1,500 attendees get a $15 food truck voucher, which is awesome, and I will be in that first 1,500.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. So everyone's encouraged to bring their blankets or lawn chairs and non-alcoholic beverages. And then the next item that Tim had, actually does have one more after this. The short-term rental business licenses are now available. So beginning today, Salt Lake City is accepting applications for short-term rental business licenses. If you operate or plan to operate a short-term rental, such as an Airbnb or Vrbo, you'll need to review the new licensing requirements and submit an application. And you can find the application information under the short-term rental properties section of the city's business licensing website. And the new ordinance also includes operating standards, such as licensing requirements, minimum stay requirements, occupancy limits, and other regulations. For it's designed to improve neighborhood compatibility. So that's great. And then the last thing is, if you have any ongoing concerns or feedback about the city's budget or any other city issue, you're encouraged to share your comments during the Salt Lake City Council public comment period. And even after city policies have been adopted, the council welcomes public input, and you can choose to revisit issues in the future if warranted. And that's it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Is it okay if I add to the short-term rental, just because I think there was some rage baiting headlines in the paper that made it seem like something happened that didn't. It did not change zoning, so the zoning didn't change. Short-term rentals are still not allowed in residential zones. They're only permitted in zones that allow hotels or motels or Airbnbs, so just keep that in mind. This is just on licensing. It didn't change where they're operating like that.
Thanks for clarifying that. So people will continue to just have them.
Yeah.
And not
That's,
I just wanted to get a quick headline, made it seem like we legalized it for.
Yeah, I can see how that'd be very receptive. Thank you for clarifying.
One of the things that they talked about a lot in that too was that enforcement is largely driven by complaints.
Yeah.
So if you have somebody that's doing short-term rentals and it's causing an issue because of where you're living, then it's best to report that, because that's where then people can start doing that properly.
Can I ask a question? The public comments, is that open a limited amount of time? So what's the time?
The public
for the
comment
budget,
budget?
No, we said the budget and other city issues, I'm not really concerned about the budget, but more city issues.
And you can always talk
Anything, yeah.
to your council member, I think that's the big, what is it about that you wanna talk about? Is there a specific?
It's related to the neighborhood and some of the things that I've noticed in neighborhood crime.
They'll have general comments
If
at
it's-
the end, and you can talk about any individual topic. That's on the agenda, and they'll give you 2 minutes of speaking time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stephen and I want to do something kind of together, we have something.
But I'd say the most impactful way to get your comment into action is to find out which city department oversees the thing you need solved. So you say it's a crime thing, like I would
Yeah.
reach out to the police department.
It might be multiple things too as well, we think, because yeah. it's-
Crime and others,
Yeah.
crime then.
But what insight do you have representing the council?
Yeah, so general comment is an opportunity for anyone to speak about any item, it doesn't have to be anything on the agenda. There is a restriction that you have to sign up before 7:30. You can do that online or in person, and then once that list is expired, you can't sign up anymore, but you have 2 minutes, as Ben mentioned, and then I think there's a limit of an hour, so. If they get through the list, then that's great, if not, then it's just after that hour, it's done.
Okay, sounds good.
But a lot of these like 2 minute comments, it's kind of, they have so many things they're focusing on, it's like in one ear out the other. If you could get.
I'll be memorable.
Okay, if you could get like a 15-minute meeting with your council member or someone from the police department.
And that changed, it used to be Eva, and I'm sorry, what's her name again, I forgot.
Jennifer and then your peers.
So
You-
she
you
did
have
the
a card.
the person I would talk to, yeah.
I'll be the hand.
We're good.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay, well, I
Other
think we're
city
gonna,
updates? Do we have any other ones?
they're gonna share their thing later, so I think that's good, right? Cool, well, let's move on to Block Watch, you guys are gonna tell us about an app, it's 5 minutes, good, that's what we have allotted, and do you need to show anything on the screen?
Yeah, do you mind putting up those slides?
Yeah, it's helpful enough.
Yeah, thanks for letting us present really quick. So really quick, we're just BYU students that this business called Block Watch. So the first slide that's gonna pull up is a bunch of statistics about why neighborhood watch programs make a difference in communities. And like the impact they have on crime rates and all that, so. If you go on the App Store, this is what our little logo is, it's a little owl. And so, yeah, this is the crime statistics, if you go to the next slide, yeah. So it talks about how like, when neighborhood watch programs are active in cities, 16 to 26% of crimes are like reduced. And yeah, there's like reduction in thefts and burglaries, murder rates, motor vehicle thefts, all that. So our goal is to help neighborhood watch be more of a thing because it's really kind of died out across the United States, and so we're kind of working on bringing it back and making it more accessible to everybody through our app. So yeah.
So the functionality of the app, this is what it looks like when you first get on. So it shows a map of where you are, it'll update your location, and then if you go to the next slide. The idea is that you watch specific areas, so you watch your home, you watch where your kids go to school or your parents' house or anything like that. And then you can get notified about specific alerts within those areas that you're watching. So that way, if there's an area that's not really relevant to you or it's far away and it doesn't really apply, you're not getting notified about it and it's not really useful to you. And so keep going. These are the type of alerts that you can create. So a lot of them are focused on like safety, crime purposes and stuff like that. So you can report suspicious activity, traffic, medical, fire, anything like that. And if we go to the next slide, the idea isn't to get rid of contacting the police, or it isn't supposed to be like a middleman between you guys, like the citizen and the police. It's more just supposed to notify your neighbors in a streamlined way that gets it to their phone, to their eyes immediately and not going through some group chat or something like that. So if it is a serious alert, then it prompts you to call 911. And if you haven't, obviously that should be everyone's first reaction, but it is, yes.
Is it a cross between kind of like the neighborhood and next door and also the Citizen app, kind of like two.
Yeah, so it's super similar. I don't know if there's, raise your hands if you've heard of Citizen, the app. Okay, so quite a few of you guys. So it is super similar to Citizen or another app, Crime Radar. That's the second one. That's pretty similar as well. And so if we keep going, the idea, like how we're different is just our drive, our focus is community awareness and community connectedness. So that's the way to reduce crime instead of like creating fear or getting alerts about anything that's not really related to you or anything like that. And so if you keep going, these are all just like the idea is the same where you can confirm or deny if you saw something, if it is really there or not. We have a QR code, I think on the next slide. This is where people can, I hope it works from this distance, but anyways, what we're trying to do is work with cities to sponsor block parties to get word out and increase community connectedness.
Right, like some of the apps like Nextdoor, a lot of the alerts become irrelevant, like we don't really need it in the moment. And it's really a better way to just like get those kind of notifications by just communicating with people and getting out. And so we're planning to help sponsor the pizza in the park activity that you guys are gonna do in August. So we're gonna provide the refreshments just because we want people obviously to be aware of safety stuff that's going on, like that's super important, but not let it get blocked out by the noise that other apps create. So like the only thing that Blockwatch will alert you of is relevant safety things in your area. And if Blockwatch isn't sending you a lot of notifications, that's great. That means that we're creating safety and promoting safety by connecting with one another.
Yeah, so how we're different is our goal is to be more community focused and work a lot with like cities, so that way it's just a way that everyone's involved and not everyone's either watching or like peeking on neighbors and stuff like that. So that's our app. Like my guy said, we're gonna be working hopefully on like neighborhood block parties and stuff like that. And then we're also looking to try and find a place to work with you guys as well. But
Yeah. Is there any questions for us? Yeah.
So when I first was getting involved with the group, Neighborhood Watch was kind of the idea of like what we should do if we want to help our neighborhoods improve. And Neighborhood Watch, like I said, it's kind of like fallen to the wayside, and it seemed pretty much due to the fact that budgets have been cut with police departments in working with Neighborhood Watch. And that seems to be one of the things that none of these apps really addresses, and how to like make a closer connection with the police department and the community. A lot of it kind of builds a divide between the neighborhood and the police.
That's a great point. And the awesome thing about our app is everything that we just showed you is completely free. So there isn't a need for a budget in that sense, is that everybody can have the app and stay connected that way. There is a paid version, and we're working on finding ways that we can help the city pay for that. There's a lot of grants that the city gets for security updates in their city. We're still working on figuring out if that's going to be viable. The paid version, what it gives you is it adds a sex offender map that's like within the app. It also adds access to police report data that's going on in your neighborhood, which is also a lot of people, that's kind of a big pull for them. And then access to more than one area. So with the initial version, I believe right now, because we're still working on things, we're still trying to get feedback and understanding what everybody really wants. Right now, I believe you can make up to 6 areas without the paid version. In the future, it'll probably change to where you can just have the one area with like for free, and then with more time.
And if I can just clarify too, like I'm talking about the budget for paying for police time to engage with the community. So if this could be some kind of an avenue to help facilitate that, I think that's something that we're missing in this modern world of automated digital data filing all over the place, that there's oftentimes there's no personnel to handle the engagement with the community to leverage all of that data.
yeah, so the grant in specific, it's called the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant, so or known as the JAG. I don't know if anyone in here has heard of that or no. So that's the main grant we're looking to work with. So we're trying to find someone it's generally within the police department, I think that they would know how to work with that and apply it, so. That's what we're working with specifically, and that would be a good way to make it so that way. Block watch isn't just like for the citizens only, but it's more, it works really hand in hand with the community, and that's where the grant can help fund that and fund police activity and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that would motivate the community, like the
Right.
police and community intervention.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like if we're not letting the police department have the budget for community interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally agree, yeah.
Alright, thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so we have planning department scheduled next, Detective Stewart joins. We could give her a couple minutes if you guys are okay with that. Okay, Detective Stewart, if you can hear us, could you give us your update?
Yes, thanks everyone. I was online. I just didn't click up when you said any more city updates, but thanks for giving me a couple of minutes. So just in regards to the neighborhood watch, that's a great question, a great comment. We actually never managed neighborhood watch. Part of our PR unit used to have a person who would help neighborhoods set up a neighborhood watch. But that person didn't do anything other than that. And then that even went away during COVID and when everyone quit and they kind of stopped helping people set up their own neighborhood watches. But neighborhood watch is a different type of a program than something that we run. If we did do something like that and organized it and attended it and everything, we'd have to call it something different because that neighborhood watch is officially trademarked, but it's not out of the realm of possibility to be able to do, and it's a good idea to broach to our outreach unit and just put that in their wheelhouse, and then we can look into that grant as well to fund maybe another person that's over that. We used to have resident people who would go out as well, and they had radios and they would just drive around and observe crimes and call it in, and that's all. They didn't engage or anything like that, but that kind of went away as well. That was a long time ago. But great question, Ben. As far as our update, we are actually organizing some block parties this year. So if you guys are interested in having a block party in Central City, we'd love to communicate with the board and get a location and get some people involved. Because food is the greatest communicator. It brings us all together, and when we all get together out of our houses, we can talk to each other and help solve things. Did anyone have any questions for me?
No, I guess not.
I guess we would have a question, is the best way then to coordinate that with you, or what member of the committee is the best to coordinate those?
For the block party?
Yeah,
Yeah. So we have an intern for Central City. She's here for 2 months. She's from Utah State University, and she's going to help us plan block parties for this summer. So we'd like to do some in August. So if Central City wants one, reach out and we'll get her on board. And we're making flyers, so we'll hand them out and whatever we need to do, close down the street, and we'll get some food and different representatives and have a good time.
Okay, if you're flexible on the date, another month might be better because we have pizza in the park in August, which is essentially a big block party. So
Okay,
maybe July or September,
Yeah,
it's good to
yeah.
get in touch with your intern.
Absolutely. I mean, July might be too soon, but we can
Yeah.
do September. Yeah, absolutely. Just reach out and we'll put it together.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. All right, let's turn it over to planning department representatives.
All right, would you like us to stand in the front, or are you okay with us over here?
And so what do the people say?
I can stand.
Let's do it front.
It's good practice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for having us today. So we're here for the Central Community Plan update. Okay. Want to go to the next slide?
And on the share.
There we go. Wait, no.
I promise I'm.
There we go. Okay, so just as far as what the neighborhood plan is, the neighborhood plan is the vision for the central community, and I'll show the map of the central community in a minute. But it details the community's vision for the area. It will be recommended, the planning commission will have a public hearing and they'll provide a recommendation. And then the city council is the ultimate. They will either adopt the changes, but it goes to that level. And it sets the policies, goals, and framework for our decision makers. So it's what the city council looks at. If a rezone comes before them, they look at the community plan and say, what does the plan say? Should we support this? And then it guides future growth and development. So like I just mentioned, leads to zoning or other changes. So the purpose of the plan update, the central community plan was last updated in 2005, and best practice is that we update plans every 10 or so years. So it's very out of date. We're looking at best practices. We want to revisit with the community and make sure that the priorities are still the same. What was in 2005, it's probably different. So we're coming back out to ask people what they love, what should be improved, what they want to see in their community. And then a main goal is also to align the plan with more recently adopted city plans, like Plan Salt Lake is the overall vision for the whole city. And then the central community plan is a part of that. Growing Water Smart, which was recently adopted, the Central Community Plan doesn't currently really address water, so we're planning on bringing that into it. Housing SLC is also one of our new plans. And then one of the key points is that there's 10 community plans, and they all have different land uses. So each community plan has a feature land use map, and they all have, say that one plan says that low density residential should be pursued, and another plan says that they actually mean different things in both plans. So we're trying to streamline those and have the same designations in each plan. So we're trying to update all of our plans in the next couple of years to do this. And the reason is because it makes it easier for our transportation division, for public utilities to actually plan for future growth when what the designation is the same for all plans. As far as project timeline, we are at the beginning where we're finding our opportunities and issues phase, where we're just going out and meeting with the community to hear what they love, what they want improved, any of their ideas for big projects they want to see. We also worked on our existing conditions report that's on our website. You can review that, which Erin will go over some of those key stats. Our next phase is going to be called Big Ideas, and that's where we come back with what we heard. So say we heard, and we are hearing this a lot, is that people want more trees. We'll be coming back with suggested policies to do that and kind of asking, this is what we heard, did we get it right? And then after that, we'll be drafting the draft plan, and we're hoping to start the adoption and review process at the beginning of 2027. It is kind of aggressive, so I don't know if we'll be able to meet that, but it's our goal. So as far as the plan area boundaries, one thing to mention is that the original 2005 plan includes downtown. That has now been taken out of the plan area, because downtown has its own plan now. It didn't at the time, and Gateway as well. And then Central 9th is also not in the plan area, so you could kind of just go right around Central 9th. It's approximately 6 square miles. It's roughly the same size as Capitol Hill and Avenues, but there's a lot more residential development and just development in general in the area. Next slide. And then it goes from approximately, South Temple all the way down to 21st South. And then we've got the freeway on the side going to 13th East. And then this is 200 East right here. And it has we split it up into 5 neighborhoods, and that's to help us when we were doing our existing conditions, because it's just so different. Every area is different. We had to really drill down to the neighborhood level. And we took these from the 2005 plan. One question we have with the public is, are these names from the 2005 plan still relevant, or should we look at different names? But keep going.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
The east side boundary, can you tell me what each side is? Because it curves a little bit. I'm just wondering if it's all one road.
It's 13th East. Approximately.
Okay, that's what.
The university just wants to that, and the university vertical.
Down.
Yeah, sorry, I just stopped her. Next slide. So just a little bit on the development history. This is one of the original plot of Zion neighborhoods. you can see that the top plot B was the smaller blocks, and then as it goes down Castle South, it's what was called a big field, where it was more agricultural sized lots. We still see this pattern in our development today, and one of the points to bring up is just that it has really influenced the character of our neighborhoods and opportunities for development. Like we have these long and narrow blocks that add opportunities for infill, where there might not be room for other development. Next slide. And then development periods, I'll just touch on this quickly, but the early 20th century had rapid residential growth in the planned area. You can see that in like the blue and greens. And then the late 20th century had our commercial and infill development, and that's in the reds and oranges. And the early 21st century had our increased multifamily development along corridors. So don't want to like walk, but you can kind of see that along 4 South, which is one of our main transit corridors, we saw a lot of redevelopment in that orange and red. Also in our ballpark area here, they generally do follow our transit corridors where the new development came. And then another point is that in 1995, there was an overall city zoning rewrite, and that essentially kind of froze some of these zones up in the central community in time, where they're really the only way to develop was to tear down structures and build really massive apartment buildings or massive like big box type of stores. And so that's also why you see that bigger development in the area. That was the RMF 3545 changes that came through last year. Probably saw that was an attempt to fix that and try and encourage some of the smaller scale development again. Okay. And then I wanted to touch on this one, redlining and equity, because this really does make a big impact on the development that we see today and the patterns that come through this area. So in the 1930s, there was the what we call redlining, where insurance lenders were broken up, the map was broken up into these categories, and areas that were rated D, people in those areas couldn't get home loans, they couldn't, and there was also not investment, and so in those D and C areas, they saw that they couldn't sell their homes, or you couldn't get a mortgage, and that just led to systemic problems with today. Like my point on this is that today we are actually still seeing the effects of those, where the areas in red, we see higher poverty rates today. We see higher youth poverty, higher senior poverty, and just the impacts of these decisions made back in the 1930s are still prevalent today. It's something that we are keeping in mind. Sorry.
All right.
And I'll let Aaron touch on our existing conditions.
Okay, in general, the central community, it has more renters than the rest of the city. Has fewer single family home residents than multi-family home residents. They're about 30% of residents are in single family homes. 63% are in multifamily. It's less racially diverse. There are fewer children in this plan area. There is a smaller percentage of family households. There are fewer older residents. There's a lower median income, and this is despite the fact there's a higher rate of residents with college degrees in this area. And then less auto dependent. There are great bus routes, active transportation routes in the plan area for the most part. However, it's important to note, like we make this general statement, but you'll see within each neighborhood, they really have different characteristics. And it's hard to really characterize the whole plan area as one thing. The first thing I want to cover here is with growth. Generally, you've seen more growth in Ballpark and Central City. You've probably noticed it where all the apartments are going. That's where a lot of the growth has been. You've actually seen a loss in population on the east and south side where those single family homes are, or where multi-family buildings in single family districts may have been converted into single family homes. So we'll keep going there. Oops, I went too fast. Another thing to note is central community overall, like I mentioned, is less diverse than Salt Lake City as a whole, but when you compare them neighborhood to neighborhood, that one covered up by the camera is Ballpark. You can see they're much more diverse here in Central City and in Ballpark, with a larger population, minority population, compared to these other Liberty Wells and Liberty neighborhoods. This is a fun one to see. You can see college age population.
That star.
Oh, shoot, I forgot to read the star.
Yeah, sorry.
I copied over from Liberty Wells, you thought we were at Liberty Park earlier. but the college age population are where you think they would be. And then households with children are generally in these south and east neighborhoods where there are single family homes large enough to accommodate kids and larger families. One item I think it's important to note is that there's some big differences in the neighborhood with income specifically. East Central South, or as they want to be called, Liberty Wells and Liberty, which is sort of west of Liberty Park, are have a much higher median income than the rest of the city, especially Ballpark and Central City. East Central North has that higher percentage of degrees, and that sort of can be explained. You have these recent graduates or people working at the schools that might earn less, but they have those degrees. So a major thing to point out here, so the AMI for Salt Lake City in general is that, which is the area median income, about the average that everyone makes here, is $106,000. In the plan area, that median income is $63,000 or thereabouts, so it's roughly 60% AMI for the whole city.
The whole plan area.
Whole plan area, sorry, yes. So these numbers indicate that affordability is a challenge within the city, within the plan area here. And that's just furthering that point where in these neighborhoods, Central City, and Ballpark, they have a much higher rate of poverty. Like Christy mentioned in the redlining map, the patterns continue on and even into now where poverty continues to be an issue, affordability continues to be an issue, and the lack of amenities also, as we see when I go farther in this report. So in order to afford a home as a renter, you need to be making at least $106,000. And this is assuming you have a 20% down payment.
Yeah, to buy an average price home, which is 470,000 in the plan area, you would need to make, if you put 20% down, you need to make 106,000. If you're putting only 5% down, you would need to make 134,000 to afford the average price home in the plan area. So it's pretty stacked, like it's startling.
Affordability continues to be an issue in this area. And my notes, so households spending more than 30% of their income are considered cost burden, and those spending more than 50% of their income on housing are extremely cost burdened. And there's a significant number of extremely cost burdened residents within the central community plan area. I'll briefly touch on.
Sorry, for jumping in, but just like we have 3 minutes left.
Okay, we're gonna jump ahead.
Yeah, we have this report online, you could find all this stuff.
And it'd be good to hear how neighbors could give their input over time.
You can see Central City has most of the apartments, a large percentage of the residents live here and they're mostly in apartments. The densest neighborhood in the whole plan area, have excellent transit in many parts of the city. There are also some great 15-minute bus lines. I hope and pray someday the 205 will be a 15-minute bus line, but that's still in the long distance future. Parks, this area, the plan area as a whole, has the lowest access to parks compared to the rest of the city, which is interesting because the city's largest park is in the plan area. And there's also no access to public open space unless you're going on a trail or driving there. There are lots of historic districts in the city and lots of historic sites. In the central community plan area, there's 89 individually listed sites, which is more than any other areas. And notice again, the Ballpark and the west side of Central City, those areas that were in red are not historic districts on that.
Just the key takeaways, so growth is concentrated in Ballpark and Central City, those two neighborhoods. Housing affordability remains a key challenge that we're very well aware of. The area has strong active transportation and transit. There's unequal access to parks and open space, and this is both the acres per person and the walkability to those parks. Like we have to cross 4th South, 7th State Street, so there are significant barriers to get to parks and open space. We didn't show the map, but tree coverage is also a concern. The Central City community has a lower tree coverage than other areas in the plan area.
Those historic inequities continue today, and then we want to make it clear that we recognize that there are differences between each neighborhood, and we don't intend to create a plan that is one size fits all. We're planning on looking at each in the central city, ballpark, and all those in their own lens. So upcoming events, this is where we have done quite a few events already. We were just at Cold Punch Coffee. We did a pop-up there. We were at Cafe Noir. It's kind of like the coffee tour, because coffee shops are the only people telling us we can come. We've reached out to like Smith's and we've reached out to a ton of people, and we're not getting a great response. So if you know of anywhere that we can go and set up our table and get input, like a laundromat or honestly anything, we will go and set up. So if you have connections, let us know, because we're not getting a great response from people besides coffee shops. So that's why we're going to so many. And then we wanted to present the existing additions because it really is important to understand that context when you take our survey. The survey asks questions like, what do you love, what do you want improved, but it also asks specifics on transportation improvements, parks improvements, housing ideas. So we have a survey up on the website. Please share it, please take it, it's very important as this initial phase of outreach so that we get off on the right foot and make sure that we heard and understand each community. And that's all we have. Do you have any questions?
So aside from filling out the survey, is the best way to participate going to the outreach events? Or is there any other way?
Yeah, we have an email address for
Mhm.
specifically for comments. It's also on that same website. You can send us those comments. The survey has, the other block as well. You can just shove your thoughts into there and we'll obviously pull them out and work on it.
But yeah, we're happy to, if you guys have an idea for a walking tour, we're happy to come and be there. Like, we are really willing to get out and hear you guys however it works best for you.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, so we've got Landon, he's gonna tell us about fees around the block, and we've got like 7 minutes.
Yeah, I'll be very quick.
Okay.
Let me pass out a flyer to everybody really quick. This is neighborhood specific, so if you don't live in this neighborhood, then write the neighborhood you live in at the bottom. And then I should, would you just pass the box around everybody? Thank you very much. Okay, so my name is Landon Krasik. I am the person who led the Central 9 transformation on the underpass to make it to a community plaza instead of a blighted fenced off underpass. And I'm trying to do more things to engage different communities around the city. And the current project, oh, thank you. Yeah, certainly. So the current project that I'm working on is called Bees Around the Block. And so in short, we are creating 7 5-foot-tall statues that are going to go on Main Street downtown, but they're going to be painted to represent each district throughout the city. So for the most part, that ends up being about 2 neighborhoods per district is going to be represented on each bee. So Austin, would you mind clicking the next thing? So the vision is that we create, it's a citywide public art initiative celebrating the identity of all 7 districts through collaboratively designed art. So all of you guys are helping right now with that collaborative design of these art pieces. These are our kind of main goals. If you want to jump to the next slide. The sponsors are the blocks, the Salt Lake City Arts Council. I am one of the artist fellows for the blocks this year, so they kind of give a substantial amount of money to an artist every year to help do something interesting in the city. So I decided that I wanted to spread my little piece of art across everybody and have our city create art together. So that's kind of what this project is. So where are we at right now? We are currently in the gathering information part. So if you guys write in on each of these cards what you like about your city, what's an iconic landmark, what's something that's important to you. We will help articulate that in an artistic way on one of these beads. If you want to be a superstar, then you will scan the QR code that's on there. That goes into a little more depth and gives me more information to work with, and kind of helps me figure out like feel and color and a lot of different characteristics. If you want to jump to the next slide, that would be awesome. Oh, sorry, let me keep, sorry. So next phase after that is we are hiring an artist for each statue. We want an artist from each district. So if you know an artist from this area, we'll pay $1,000 for them to design and paint a bee. We'll hand over the data and help them articulate what your guys' vision is. And we're also looking for more sponsors. I got funding to do most districts, not quite enough to represent the entire city. So I'm still fundraising that final mile. And then neighborhood, yes, there's going to be a big reveal party at the end in September. So come out, hang out, do the parade of bees, see the entire city in a couple of blocks. If you want to jump to the next slide. This is just a little bit drilled down into the installation. So it's going to be up in September. There are going to be 7 statues. They're 5 feet tall. 1 bee per district, displayed on Main Street. The installation will last for at least a year, and then the blocks will have the option to continue to have them be up. It depends on whether they want to do the maintenance for doing a yearly epoxy coat, which I'd be happy to come and do if they want to pay me to do it. And then, yeah, if you want to jump to the next slide. So this is the real thing that I'm here for, is just to be able to get you guys to write down something really quick. I saw some of you guys writing, but if we could just take 1 minute, 30 seconds, write a sentence about what makes your neighborhood interesting, what makes it beautiful, what makes it unique, then I would appreciate it.
It's time test.
Right, I don't want to belabor the point too much, so I will hang out after and collect those. Austin, do you want to jump to the next slide for me? So kind of as I mentioned, we are looking for artists, and we really want one from each district. So if you know of anyone who is skilled with a brush, then we really could use your help finding somebody that is actually from this area to paint the bee. So that would be incredible. And then also, like I said, sponsors, we are looking for help with that final mile. I have some sponsorship guides over here if anyone knows of a business that might be interested in helping us push through to the end. And then the last slide just shows that we're going to have a big reveal party where everyone is welcome to be a part of the same moment where we're all celebrating the city together, every part of the city, every part of the character of the city. So that's the project. I'll hang out after and collect those. And then also I have a ton, and if I could send you home with the QR code as well, then if you take it, it will be so valuable to me. So I'll hang out after and then gather all this up.
Is paint really medium? I mean, could like collage or mosaic, or I'm just evolving.
Yeah, so it has to be able to be covered with a epoxy afterward that fills every possible hole. So collage potentially could work. as long as we are, as long as it's very flat to the body. And then we can cover all of that in the epoxy. That protects it from the sun and everything.
Yeah, okay, it's not mixed with ours.
But yeah, so other mediums are fine as long as we can get that really strong sun coating to prevent
No, that's right.
damage.
Well, thank you, Landon. Okay, so we're gonna go, for those who wanna come to the building tour, Sampson and Alta, Dena condos, so we'll pack up and
We,
start off.
really quickly, we just need to get a number of who to expect.